let's do the interview. That way it's done. Okay, so the first, mules and drone syndromes. British Army objective is to rebuild America. In order to be rebuilt, one of our main tasks is to reconnect cities and other settlements by reestablishing delivery. Back before the Death Stranding, the comms have a network where what held society together. The whole thing was automated, AI managed, delivery carried out by drones. The belief was taking people out of the equation would revolutionize that system. The thing didn't quite pan out the way they were. We started seeing cases of what will eventually be known drone syndrome. It was too much for some folks to accept, giving everything to machine and nothing to the common man. Ooh. And sorry, I don't like reading. The oxytocin is officially an hormonal balance. We confirm seem to back up the assessments. And they need to be part of this process. So laws were in place, and we step back into the pictures again. And then what happened? All the people. Oops. Okay. Other people put out of work by a machine who got called again, convinced themselves society couldn't survive without them, and that brought on a new disorder, the delivery dependence syndrome, could they call it. And then it tore us apart. The delivery problem spiraled even further. It wasn't helped by the fact that Chicago Club prevented plane from flying, which meant we had to go back to complaint on human courier, whether we liked it or not. Eventually, delivering good became all some lived for. They were obsessed, addicted, consumed with a desire. Over time, they turned into the mule. Okay, so it's weird because I don't think it's so much as a mule system. I think it's a need for that. A need to. They were pushed aside, right? They were completely pushed aside and said, "Hey, we don't need you. The society don't need you." And like, okay, well, fuck you. I want to be useful, right? And then when everything happened, the Death Stranding happened, they're like, "Yo, we can be useful again." And I think there's a deep-rooted fear of, hey, there might be a time where they don't need us, and if they don't need us, we'll be back to where we were before, and we don't want to go to where we were before. And that's what is the mule or the drone system. It's kind of cool. We're seeing that a lot. It's like a paranoia of not being loved back, not being accepted. So it's kind of human. Bridge baby. So we'll do we'll do Timefall, Hurtman. Timefall was first recorded when the Death Stranding occurred, and despite all the years that have passed since then, we're close to understanding how or why it accelerates passage of time for the object of an organism it touches, or why it immediately turned to ordinary water having done so. Some researchers have gone as far as to posit this process, sitting time, and as for why Timefall is observed only in certain places. All that we know for now, for certain, is that they're somehow affected by local chiral concentration. This is merely a hunch, but something in me suspect that the Death Stranding may have warped out the perception of passage of time, possibly. Not in that necessarily a bad thing. You understand, we humans can conceive of our own death, and even the possibility of a place beyond death, yes? So, okay, that's interesting. So, he's talking about how we view time as a clockwork before our death, nothing else. So if you don't die, there's no need for time. Women can conceive. We have the capacity to contemplate the future. An evolutionary advantage which aid our development as a PC. Well, what is Timefall as giving us a new supercharged version of the essential ability, one that will take us to the next stage of our evolution. Perhaps we wouldn't need to hold ourselves up in the nosity. Perhaps in time, the Death Stranding would come to be seen as the phenomenon that saved our species. Exciting thought. I'm sure you'll agree. I, for one, can't wait to set out on our journey. Who knows what awaits us? Well, I would agree with that, but then you'd be able to resist the rain, right? Or you'd be able to resist anything that goes afterwards. The second you die, there's a huge crater. But the fact that the Death Stranding is what is super cool is you don't die, but when you do, it's like a not a normal thing. So it breaks the fabric of time, break the fabric of anything. I'm kind of new here at Bridge, so I don't know if any of this will be useful to you. But still, I'm happy. Bridge is them, and It's what you want. They call me Demon on account of my fidelity with the dead. Get it? We always been on good term. You see, we used to have regular little chats when I work at the morgue. Anyway, that was also the reason I worked on the BB maintenance and research to learn more about those who are no longer with us, but I digress. Fact is, BBs that were already being issued to our forces in the field before I joined Bridges. Much more research into the little guy already been conducted long ago, but no one took the plunge and put what they discovered to practical use. Still, that didn't mean is that when Bridges wanted to build our own BBs, most of the work had already been done for us. We just needed to follow the instruction manual, so to speak, which isn't to say we have any idea how they work, nor how they detect BTs. Can they connect to the world to the other side? We still have much to learn about. Their friend, running a certain, their continued study will issue to a greater understanding of the stranding, of life and death itself. That much I can assure you. Well, I think that's all I have to tell you today. Hopefully I'll have something new to share next time we shoot the fat. You know, I guess. But the weird thing is when we die, every time we are reborn, every time we go ahead, when we're reborn, we're still babies. So what I'm gonna do, I know I said I'm gonna finish the stream. I am. We're gonna be checking out the private room, and then we'll be going to sleep, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be going to.
Dead man, you there?
Little help.
Okay, sir. Remove the pod and connect it to that incubator.
Wow.
Good. A temporary excessive stress. Easily addressed if we return it to its mother's womb.
Which we don't have, because the
mother. Located in the capital Knot City ICU. Brain dead, of course.
You mean still mother?
Correct. A still mother's womb facilitates a connection
what the
between the world of
fuck?
the dead and the BB. And you, in turn, connect yourself to a BB, granting you the ability